Okay, so it's 3:20. 3:20 on Friday. And so I'll just talk about some of what I know. What I do know is I feel so much better. This is still hurting over here, but oh my God, it's just like totally manageable. And I swear to God, my tooth is getting better. So I'm gonna keep showing it. And I keep doing visualization, and I was up all motherfucking night. So I did a lot of visualization last night. I keep picturing it like healing and closing in from the inside and all the darkness going and stuff. But I swear to God, it is looking more fuller. Like, I don't know. I'm just gonna, like I thought it was silver in there. Couldn't even tell. That's why I even went to the dentist. It was like, what the fuck is going on? Because I couldn't tell what was going on. And then when they told me that's a cavity, I was like, what? Like I was shocked. And I'm still keep thinking there had to be silver in there, and that he told me he was going to have to drill in to get this little filling, and that I put it off. Whatever it was going to be, it seemed extreme. I don't remember. And then, I mean, it was 2021. Like my relationship with the medical system was deteriorating that whole time. So, but anyways, I'll show you. So you guys can see. I swear to God, it's getting. I feel so excited. And so, now I've got the whole thing though with the dentist, because they're going to be calling me for the appointment. And so then I keep thinking, oh, how am I going to handle this? Am I going to tell them, oh, it's healing naturally? Or what? I mean, like it was right on the verge. It was like the nerve was right there. He said sometimes you can't even tell because the x-ray, or yeah, the x-ray will show that it seems like it's not, but then it will be. But that's why there's no way, because he told me that was really, well, I didn't have the, I mean, this is the way it was supposed to go. I mean, there's a woulda, shoulda, coulda, and this is the part where you can start trying to force things. This is where you got to be aware of you're going with the flow or trying to force things. So, going and then then not having the money, and my bank account's overdrawn. It is the weirdest thing. This whole thing with my bank account, those slippers still being out there somewhere that they haven't even put that back on my thing. Like, it's weird. Like, dogs are out of treats, so we're gonna be going in withdrawals here today. It's like, oh God, I don't even get paid till next week, and then I gotta wait for the mail to deliver. And that is like if nothing else goes down, because they're sitting there saying that all these earthquakes on the San Andreas Fault, it's about to go on the Cascadia. And I don't know. There's people, of course, saying about the booms and stuff having anything to do with this stuff. I don't know. I don't know. Yellowstone is fucking going. Yellowstone's piping off hot. And so that can be rumbling. And the guy who I keep seeing talking about just is so dismissive of it. He's just like, yeah, it's okay. I'm getting a strong vibration in my chest from talking. I got my little pillow here to hold it when I cough. Feels so much better. Sleeping, holding it. That's why I really think it's something with the connective tissue, because it's like it's like if you've ever had pleurisy, only it's not in the same places where you have pleurisy. So because it's more like underneath my arm, more of where the damage was from my surgery. It's vibrating in my chest. But anyways, so it feels so much better to hold something on there, because it hurts in the connective tissue. So anyways, oh, did I just get off on my thing? I have a bunch of little things again. And this one person who keeps coming into my comments and saying stuff. It's like, okay, you have got to be a fake person, I think. I don't even know, like, if people can be like this and be real. But if you go and listen to people and you don't vibe with them, move on. Nobody needs your critique. Nobody's asking for it. I didn't ask for a diagnosis or anything like that. Whatever your opinion of me, it does not make a difference to me. That's your issue. And if you keep on going and listening to somebody and then coming in and trying to critique them and tell them what's wrong with them, you have got issues. You need to move on and figure something out. Find something you're in alignment with. Because if you're not in alignment with me, I'm okay with it. I don't care. But, I'm talking to the people who are vibing with me. We're trying to have conversations here. So, oh, and in the conversations, I'm going to show you this. So this is this stuff. And Stella has broken out in some, like, this is working good on these ones I put it on. I think even this one under her chin is shrinking. I wish I could get a good view of it for y'all. It's fucking huge. But I swear to God, it's shrinking. And, but she has some big breakout that tons and tons of little ones all over. Even on the back of her legs is like, looks bruised. Like she's got little bruises or something. It's like, what is this fucking breakout? Which now, the newest stuff on the CA isn't just that it's parasites. No, it's fungi and mold. That's what it's coming out as. It's fungi and mold. So that's why it's hard to kill some of the stuff. And that's probably what's hard to try and kill some of the stuff on her. But I don't get, because I dumped her water, her rainwater. So there's no rainwater out there, and it hasn't rained for, I think it's supposed to start raining in a couple days. I don't know what the hell's going on with this. So they're spraying the motherfucker just like, but she does have a water outside because she likes to drink cold water outside. And so now it's like, could it be in the air and it's just getting into your regular water and whatever is causing this? Because what it would be causing it, you know? It's just so frustrating. But fungi and mold is like the hardest stuff to kill, is what we keep finding out, right? And how sick it makes people. And I just saw another nurse who was doing a video, and she was telling her list of things as a nurse that she would no way to ever do. And the one I just happened to catch was the CHEMO. What I keep saying. And she said, because it is the strongest bug spray you can imagine, the strongest. She didn't say that. She said POISIN, SON. And so anyways, so she said it's the strongest one that you can imagine. And it's supposed to kill every single thing in your body, and just hope that it doesn't kill you. So that's why I'm always saying too, there's no fucking way I would take that stuff. And that's what's going to be when people find out, and they find out the little, you know, you put them on this and we'll give you money. Like, there's going to be some fucking outrage, because people don't really understand that whole little fucking system that they got going over there. And it's, and people are going to find out. This is the kind of stuff that's coming to the surface. And this is, you know, this insurance stuff. And now Blue Cross has decided, oh, well, you know, we're not going to do that with the anesthesia and stuff. There was an anesthesiologist speaking out and stuff. Like, there was outrage. Like, people were like, this is some bullshit, man. And one anesthesiologist guy he said that nobody would stay living there. And then you're not going to be able to find surgeons, because there will be no anesthesiologists. And because nobody's going to go in and work like that for free. And he said the same thing as me. It's like, anesthesiologist has no control over how long the surgery lasts. It has to do with what's going on inside the patient. And then they can run into all sorts of issues in there. And so, yeah, corporations don't need to sit behind desks and make decisions. And they don't even trust the people that they're handing out papers to make the decisions. It's so fucking corrupt. And it's rearing its ugly head. It's showing everybody the disgust. And there's all this stuff coming out. Like, there's a reason why those certain words were on there and left is the key clue, you know, is because it is talking about it gets the conversation going. It starts rolling the conversation about what's going on there. And there's going to be more of that. It's all going to fold in together of the corruption of certain things. Like, all this medical is all going to fold in together. So this is kind of like watching the pieces go together. And then once it gets the pieces together, it's going to be like, whoa, because it is a lot of stuff, and it's very corrupt. All of the different things, the legal, the medical, the entertainment. Oh, with Shania Twain. Like, okay, clone lady. Like, there's no fucking way. Oh my God. I can't even believe it. Like, the Dolly Parton one, like, putting these women out, and who are, they are, what is that word? They are successful, and they have money, and they have power, and all that stuff. And then you have him go prance around on a stage in a swimsuit. People are even talking about Shania Twain's looking like she's got a Depends diaper on, which, you know, how even more embarrassing. And then she's also wearing this coat over hers, but it's like, it's very boudoir fetishy. You got a hat on, heels, underwear, and this robe thing. It's so fetishy. Like, all this stuff is so fetishy, and these people buy on. And some of them, like, I can't imagine Shania Twain would be that desperate. It's got to be a clone person. It's too weird. Like, some of this stuff is just too weird. And then I just saw this girl explaining a whole bunch of stuff that she remote view about cloning, that I'll tell you too, because a lot of the stuff was going with what I was saying. But let me think, because there was something else I was leaving off. I keep jumping around. And this is this person telling me, like, if you can't keep up, like, nothing I can do about it. This is how it goes. This is how the information goes for me. This is how I am. So, and you're not going to change me by coming in and trying to tell me that things are wrong with me. That is your opinion. So take it. I'm not. And you go wherever you want to go with it, you know, but just leave me out of it. It has nothing to do with me, what you think of me. That's coming from inside you. And that's not going to have anything to do with me. And it's not going to change me. So, you know, whatever. You're wasting your fucking... but again, some of the stuff is so ridiculous. Like, you can't even be a real person. Like, what? Who does this? Who has time for that? Like, so, oh yeah, I still want to show this stuff too. Okay, so... the Shania Twains, all these people, yeah. How ridiculous. They turn all this entertainment into fetishy, disgusting stuff. They get girls to go do all this surgery. Like, Cardi B has gone and done a whole bunch of surgery on herself. And, like, BBLs and stuff. Like, a bunch of stuff that has come out, like, how dangerous it is. And, there's this other thing just popped into my mind, because some woman, I don't even know where it's at, because she went in to get surgery. She went to get wisdom teeth pulled, or one pulled or something, and there was 4 doctors there. She goes in and goes to sleep, comes out, and now it's a couple months later and she's found out that she's pregnant, and that's the only way it could have been. So that story, there's gonna be so many. I said anything that can happen is gonna happen. Like, there's gonna be there's so many weird stories going on. The whole weird thing, even with that guy's assassination, is like, it's such a show. They have people stepping over the body to get to the meeting and stuff. It's like, and all of the stuff about him and what he represents. And what do they have out there? His wife. Oh, he's such a good guy and stuff. And then he's in for getting insider training, all these kinds of things. It's like, chick, you're about to lose your shit. Like, you better go find a family member to move in with, because your stuff's about to go down. Like, that's what I said about some of these people who in our communities, they seem like, oh, look at her, you know, she's got it all. She's got the great husband. He's got the great job, man. They're so cool. They got all the money. And now it's going to be like all falling down. All falling down because it was built on corruption, and corruption's no lie. Corruption's going. It's the disease that's been killing. But it's getting killed. And so we're doing it in a natural way, or not doing it in this other way. It's weird how that all goes. Micro, macro. Everything is micro, macro, man. It's so grippy. It's so... I'm making up new words now. It's so trippy. I had a rough night last night, too. Like, oh, my God. Oh, so that when she's not doing well, oh... Man, it's rough. There was another thing here I wanted to say. So anyways, I wanted to say to Cheryl, though, like, man, I am so glad you told me about this stuff, though. Because I swear to God, this one is getting so much smaller. This is really tiny on me. And I probably will put some more, but it just kind of trips me out because it's so hot and it's right next to my eye. Anyways, I really think this stuff is in that one vet, the blonde shaggy guy, is it Dr. Berg is his name or something? You guys all know who he is in the comments and stuff. But he talks about this, and he uses it all day long. He said he puts it on a couple times a day on those kinds of things, and so he may even have more videos, but that's what I was looking for. And so anyways, thanks, Cheryl. This is the I just want to make sure when I'm saying the peroxide that somebody doesn't, because I did use the regular peroxide when I very first used peroxide. I didn't know. And then somebody's like, no, you can't use that. You got to use food grade. So anyways, this is, and I get it off Amazon. And so this is food grade. And it's still, you're supposed to water it down. Now, I just kind of put like a tiny, tiny bit, and then right away, your mouth will get full of bubbles and spit and stuff. But I don't know, it could be too strong. But anyways, I'm trying to. So, before when I had it, I would take some and then I would water it down and then I would use it. So, it's up to you how you do it, but it is just strong. And, oh yeah, I want to show this too, because this is my magnesium spray. And so I think there's some of these things you have to have a dark bottle, and it came in a dark bottle, but it was plastic and this one's glass. So I decided to switch over to this one, even though it's smaller. And there's so much fucking dog hair everywhere. I don't know. Is that part of it, like this time of year, shedding? No, I don't think so. I swear to God, there's so much motherfucking dog hair. But anyways, so the magnesium flakes comes like in this powder thing. It isn't a powder, it's flakes. And they're kind of chunky. And so it comes in like a little bag, like Epsom salt. And it just says magnesium flakes. And I even think it says for bath or something. And so I just put a scoop of that in, the bigger one. I make it in a bigger thing. And I put a scoop of that and then just fill it with water. And then you put like a little bit of essential oil. And that's it. And then you just spray it on your feet. I've been spraying it I spray it a few times at night. Every time I get up or get woke up, I spray more on. So, and it's supposed to help you sleep. And it's just good for you. And it is, as long as I still have any of these kinds of things, I would still say I'm still in a deficit of minerals. And, or something about that. Deficit of minerals. There's lots of stuff with the sicknesses going around right now. Like people are super, super sick. That GI one and stuff. But I think there's more. And the mold and the fungi, that thing is big. And that I don't know. They're getting us all sick with that stuff. And that could be something that they sprayed on the trees too, with something to grow more mold or fungi for us to breathe. Maybe that's when the dogs go out and step around, it puts it out like a little puffs into the air. Maybe that's why, is to me, it seems like Max just doesn't feel good. He just keeps on like not feeling good. And what's his name? Archie. God, that guy's a little criminal. Archie is, he's such a drama. God, that guy. He's a crack up. He's constantly sneezing and has his nose running. And he's got this little snorter, little tiny nose. So he's the closest thing to a pig, I swear to God. It's so funny, too, because I was thinking about getting a pig, because the neighbor's pig, and I used to have a pig. And then, when I started looking around over here, they were like over $1,000 for a pig over here. And the one guy who had a litter, he was like, oh, well, you got to keep them in a crate. You got to do this. You got to, they can't be left with your dog alone and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, well, that's not going to work as a companion for her. Like, so I don't want to do something like that and then spend that much money on it. And, I don't know, then it fell into place for the fostering thing. But, and then that worked out to, and Max and Archie are like best of friends. Like they're always on each other. Like everything they do, they're practically connected all the time. Except for when Max wants to go outside and hang out with Stella. Then Archie's just like around me. But no matter if Max is sitting there, Archie, if I get up, Archie's like right with me everywhere I go. And it's like, fuck, man, especially like having the problem with my vision, because there's a whole place I can't see. So I'm always having to look down to see what's in front of me. And when you're doing things, it's easy. I don't see. And Max has been under my feet. I've had Stella be under my feet, not see. But Max, he's almost tripped me a couple times. And he just like gets right. I don't know. This guy has got issues with boundary. I don't know what it is, you know, because I don't know his history and stuff. But yeah, he's got some issues with uh like having to be on my feet while, like, not letting me walk, having to be on my feet, like not standing there not knowing what to do until my feet are moving, and then having to be right on him. And then anywhere I'm going to go sit, he's going to go try and sit there first. Archie does that same thing, but Archie, when you walk up and you say, Archie, move, he'll get up and go move. You go say that to Max, and he'll just look at you and look back. And he does that all the time to Stella on her bed. He does that all the time wherever I'm going to sit. So I don't know. Like, I have to pick him up and move him. Luckily, he has that fucking sweater. That sweater is handy because I can grab that sweater and pull him. Because the other day, yesterday, I think on our walk, we go out. They both go around a track. This is right after we went out too. And I was just like, are you fucking, like, damn it. Some of these walks, I'm telling you, they are so we go out, they spin, each go on one side of this trash can and then go. And this isn't their first time they've done this. And then they knock this giant trash can down. It makes all this noise. Scares the fuck out of Max. It scares the fuck out of both of them. But Max jolts, pulls himself right out of his harness, but it shocked him for a minute because he's the one I'm always like, fuck. He will take off running. Like, every time I have taken him out to go and I let him off leash, he goes like, and then he will like disappear, and then all of a sudden he's behind you. It's like, what? So I know he would come back, but he could get hurt or in trouble or anything could happen in his frenetic kind of crazy runaround. So, you know, I gotta keep him safe. And he's got this passion too that he wants to go run. He gets so yesterday there was two dogs at two separate times. And one I didn't know. One I knew because it was Betty, the neighbor dog. And I don't know, they're just letting her out roam or something. But the other one I didn't know. And they're out there touching noses. Max is just right up there with the guy. Like, good, I want out of here. Let's go. I was like, poor Max. He's just got that desire. He wants to get out there and run and have adventures. Now he's like held back. But he also had, you know, I think he had to fight for food. I think he is... I think something about the sleeping thing too, and about where he could sleep and having to be safe and stuff because, I don't know, certain things I see in his personality, but I don't know how long he was in the streets, but he could have easily gotten out from someone's house and escaped. So he could have been loved at some point and just got separated from them. And because that has been happening a lot too with people. The dogs get out and there's so many different shelters, they can't find them and people don't know where they are. But he wasn't chipped or anything, and I had looked and stuff to try and even see if there was somebody who was saying they were missing him. But, you know, there's lots of people that just... So, anyways, you just don't know. And so, but when it fell and it just came right out of his thing. And I was like, fuck, I had to move fast. I had to go quick. And I grabbed him, and it was like right as he all of a sudden realized, like, wait, like, I don't feel anything. And so I grab his sweater, and he tries to turn, and I grab it again. And I'm trying to grab his harness and get him on there before he pulls out his sweater too. I was like, oh my gosh, that was an intense way to start this fucking walk. It's like, God. That's what I'm saying. Some of the walks are hellacious. Like, then there's this one girl though. She walks around and she's got a double walker thing, and she's walking two big old German shepherds. I haven't seen her lately, but when she goes out, she's walking two big German shepherds. So, and I got, you know, a pug and a bigger pug, a pug mix, whatever, and a giant dog. And then when I have all three of them, what's his name? The only thing with Archie is he just causes more things for Max to spin around. Max is just and then I keep trying to pull him back and tell him to pay attention and stuff, and it just is it's just a lot. But he's doing good. I mean, he's doing better, I think, and paying better attention. And I keep telling him, you got to pay attention to Stella. Pay attention to Stella. And because I got to pay attention to Stella. Like, she's the one who masters this. Well, it's her walk. I'm just the one who's carrying the leash so that they can go out legally. So anyways, and it can be so hellacious for me sometimes. And I'm somebody who can hide their emotions. Like if I feel something, you're going to know it because I'm just going to be what I feel. And that is that one thing that, a lot of people have thought is weird. And I guess that, a more common thing is to hide your emotions and pretend you feel okay when you don't feel okay. But I'm not like that. And so let me think. Because there was still something back there that I was talking about. That, I don't know. Maybe it'll come back to me because now I'm thinking about the earthquake thing. So so yesterday morning there was a 7, but there's also been the ones I've seen, because I bet you there's been more over the night. There was a 6 something and a 5, I think. So they were having a bunch of those, which the tectonic plates are going to keep moving. Then they had a tsunami warning, but I guess that ended up going down. Then I saw people in Oregon, they were having a tsunami warning, and the video I saw was them all going to high ground, because it was somebody in their car showing that all the people who were going up to the high ground. So I don't know. One thing, when I did my road trip and I drove down the coast highway, the 5, and did that drive going, it is on the 5, no, it's on the 110 or something, or is the 110 or oh yeah, how they do those numbers. Yeah, it's 3 numbers going that way, right? And then it's 2 numbers going across. So yeah, it must have been the 110 or something. I think it's called the Pacific Coast Highway. I don't know. But anyways, it goes all the way from like the Whidbey Islands or San Juan Islands or whatever, the islands up here, and goes down. So where you come out of those, then it goes, which is almost the bottom of Washington State, because the way Washington State goes, it like splits over, and the islands are kind of the coast, and then you have this peninsula thing that goes up by Seattle and stuff, and then it kind of goes back over by going kind of by Bellingham and going up by Vancouver. So so it's kind of different. But then once you get on it, and then you go down, you're going through Oregon and then down California, down the coast. And it's really, really pretty. And you're driving. It's really cool drive. And but it's intense on some things. And then if you're doing it alone, too, well, I did it with Stella, but she couldn't take over driving, so I could do pictures. And some of it is so picturesque. Those kinds of things are. And then when you're just like driving, you want to pull over every 5 minutes. Like when you're just doing the scenic thing, you want to pull over. I pulled over a lot and got a lot of videos and stuff. Oh yeah, I documented it on here. I showed the videos and stuff. That was years ago. But it was really, really pretty. But anyways, the thing that was trippy to me is driving up the whole motherfucking way on Oregon was constantly signs of tsunami warning, tsunami warning, tsunami warning, all the way up. And I was like, dang, are they just trying to scare people all the time? Like, what the fuck? It was so weird. I thought it was the weirdest thing. I never seen anything like it. So I don't know if they're just constantly, or if they have a real danger of a tsunami there. And that I have no idea. But you go and there's signs all the time about the tsunami area. It's like, geez. As it wasn't like that in California, but California, then you are on some of it, you're up on a higher cliff on some, but I swear to God, in Oregon, I was up on high cliffs too. So I don't know, but it's definitely more of that where you are on some really high cliffs, like I was saying, where I think it's going to be moving in more, and that is the cliffs, I think, are like the mountains. I bet you there's whole cities and stuff down there, and some of them could be under some of these tectonic plates. Maybe the shifting of the tectonic plates is going to create artifacts and stuff to start coming up from other realities, other worlds and stuff. And we do have, there's more and more footage of the spaceship things. There's a really cool one, and I don't remember where it was going in, but it was going into water, and it was like a fleet of them, and they were triangle looking, but it was kind of like they were in formation. It was kind of like they were different ships, I thought. But anyway, so they're all going in this formation, all going into the ocean. And so some of that stuff is like, I don't know. It seems like it's kind of a show or something. And there's so many different fleets and stuff that people keep getting. It's like, what is going on? Like, when is something going to go on? Or is this all just a show to keep trying to get us to see that there's things out there? And maybe they are just trying to scare people. I don't know. I mean, uh, whatever. I don't know. It's just weird. And, we still haven't had the big battle or whatever's going to go down. So, I don't know. The whole thing's weird. And that's always been their big threat, too. They were going to do a fake alien invasion. So, I don't know if this is like their precursor preparing us, like, you guys, and getting the tension and everybody's so scared and all of that. But whatever goes down, don't be scared. And it could be scary. They could have things flying out of the sky. They could even, if our firmament is really like a big screen, like an Truman Show or something, they could have it look like, it could look like a fucking movie up there and shit going down. There was somebody who caught footage of what looked like a tree just floating up in the sky. And I would think that's probably more of a reality that's just not in full view, not just a tree floating in the sky, but probably a world that's there and you just isn't in your full view. But because I've seen other ones too, of looks like a city up in the sky and stuff. So that's what. But see, we were at a different vibration than those ones. And I don't think they have the firmament or anything like that. I don't know. I don't know if everything in this area, or if it's just, I think it's just vibration that holds this, and that we are in this lower vibration, but we step down into the lower vibration. But it's like you have to yourself remember your higher vibration. And and I don't know, to me, it's part of the challenge, it's part of the game. And there's lots of people who aren't there yet. Like, it's going to happen. Like, it's going to happen where people are all of a sudden going to be remembering who and what they are and stuff. And this one thing keeps coming in my head. I want to see if, I keep thinking that whatever it was I was talking about in the beginning when I shifted off of, was it something with the dogs? Was it something with mine, with the minerals? But definitely until this is completely gone. Once this is completely gone, then I'll feel like I'm more in not in kind of a deficit or something. But that is what they want to keep us in, is like this deficit, because then you stay getting sick easier. And then they just keep flooding us and flooding us and flooding us with sickness. And then like now, as soon as I start feeling better, you just watch. Just watch sometime next week probably, or when the rain starts. And then it starts all back over again. So as soon as you kick it, or you start feeling better, or your body starts like winning, then they just come in and hit us again and hit us again. And I think, for the people who don't take care of themselves, that don't eat right, and I'm sure there are, all sorts of cancers and shit going on. And it makes a lot of sense if there's a lot of pancreatic and liver, kidney, bladder, all of these filter functioning things, because they're all overrun with all of the toxins. And that's why, I keep saying you got to detox and get the toxins out of you, because we're so overrun with them. And then we're so depleted in what it is we need. It's like you're trying to drive your car across the desert with no gas or oil in it, and that's what's kicking our ass. And so it's up to us, though. It's up to us to notice and to start taking better care of ourselves. And that's the thing that trips me out, kind of like with these fake spiritual people and stuff. It's like their color in their hair and doing all this poison and talking about this fake 3D world and how to be successful and stuff like that. And it's like that. There's nothing like I've said, what's the mind, body, spirit? Your mind, to connect into the higher mind, your body, and noticing what it is that your body needs. And so taking better care of your body. And all of those things are poison. All of those kinds of things. The makeup, like there's people, I don't even know who it is, some makeup guy who, like, I don't know, owns Max Factor or something, but he wouldn't allow makeup to be in his house or let his wife or kids wear any because it was so poisonous. And so they all know, like, and people don't realize that, like, with the sicknesses and stuff that it's giving them, because it's just a part of our life. And as long as we keep accepting being poisoned, they're going to get poison in us. And then even when we start saying we don't want it, they start flooding us with it. So this is, you know, but that shows how much control that they have over our lives. And that's the part that we need to fight back against. That's the independence. That's the, we don't need you to provide this. We don't need you to provide that. We don't need you to provide your health care. We can learn how to take care of ourselves and, you know, heal our teeth when they break. And so, but we have to be taking care of ourselves. Like we had to be having heavy or healthier lifestyles. And they've got so many people who are all hooked on poisonous food. The fast food that is out, which no matter if you're going to certain restaurants, they're all buying their food from these certain plants. Well, some of them go and buy fresh stuff, but any of the people who are buying it from these, you know, the food suppliers for restaurants and stuff, like all that stuff is like, it's like government food. Like that could be one thing too. I'm going and getting the goddamn government food. And so you know, our food's fucked up. And so, but that is a part of like where you have to detox, because, you know, up in so far we have to keep eating, and we all have to go with like what we feel that we need to eat. And some people feel they need to eat meat, which I think it's going to end up being about an iron deficiency. I think that is, I keep seeing things where I keep thinking like, this is definitely going to come out as an iron deficiency, because these people are all getting so much healthier going on this carnivore diet. And so anyways, I think it's because they're getting the blood and stuff. The meat has got blood, and yeah, when you start thinking about it, is it even, and like it's okay to eat a cow's blood, or it's okay to eat a pig, like, but when you start thinking like, oh, is it a homeless guy? Is this blood? Oh God, this world is so rough, man. This is rough. But that's their stories. That's their stuff that they get to face. And there's going to be a lot of people facing it. That's going to be a rough one. That will be a rough one when people start realizing what they've been eating. And that's going to be a part where, I don't know, there's going to be a lot of people probably just sick as can be. Like, they're going to be mentally sick. There's puking and there's certain things that you learn too that you just can't get clean. You just feel dirty. And there's just like a lot of stuff, but it kind of is like you got to process through it and learn how to let go of it. And so on the body part, you know, there's a whole thing about learning how to take care of it and learning how to love it and accept it. And it's the one that you were born with. It's like the one you chose. And it comes with a package deal. It comes with a whole storyline. It comes with some kind of whole world that's going to play out for it. So you, it's like a respect for it. I don't know. It just, your body is important to this whole thing, and it's not you. You're not your body. And then, yeah, the acknowledgement of your spirit. And so the separation kind of between the three, but the union that you create between the three. And that is kind of when you become the master of the vehicle of, you are, it is kind of like learning to fly, like going up in an airplane and learning to fly. So it is you learning to maneuver yourself as a vehicle, as an energy. And That is trippy, you know, about, there's a lot of trippy things about like souls and the evolution of the souls and what they go through and stuff. And in what stages, and because there is a part where it's, has no idea what it is. It just feels alive, and then it starts going into understand itself, and that's the what I think has to do with reincarnation and stuff. But then you have I think most of us are more advanced beings, like that we're not just here. This is just like a game for us. I don't think there's tons of souls at this time. There could be, a mixture of some newer ones or something, but I think like newer ones like go like through different processes of being alive. Like, and that's what the energy is that's around us, and ones that go and become like, geese or deer or whatever. And some of those can be like really high conscious. You can't just all of a sudden see one and think, oh, well, see, their soul doesn't even know, it doesn't matter, you can hurt it. Like, no, that's not true. And so anyways, there is like a growth that happens. There is like a start of you as a consciousness, a view of an energy. And you don't start out like this. I mean, you can see people even advancing through, so you can see that it starts somewhere else. And this is only a part too. This is only like, if we were on a board game, this is just like one Park Avenue or something. This is just one little part. Because your soul has the whole game to play. And so this is just a segment. And this is just the experience of this segment. And so anyways, and you want to take what you can get from each segment and use it to your soul's benefit. So anyways, on the mind, body, spirit, and the people who don't, who try and lead us in spiritual leaders or whatever, but then they don't take care of themselves like that. And some of them are still into the thing of like people should be able to cut their body parts off it, as a child and stuff. So there's like, because a lot of them are the progressives, you know what I mean? And so that progressive agenda still continues, and that's where you create this separation between your spirit too, because your spirit would say, no, your spirit knows it came to be born and go through this experience. It wasn't a part you were going to need to go in and change it. You would have come in as something different. And so it's learning how to be comfortable in your own skin. It's learning how to accept yourself. It's learning, and like I've said before, like some of these people who are like, I know I'm supposed to be a boy, and feel very attached to this masculine side of themselves, it probably has to do with the past life that they had just completed, and they still feel pulled towards their character or whatever. There's still something that's pulling them. So there's something that they need to acknowledge, that they need to understand. So if you have a kid who keeps talking about, I think I'm in the wrong body and stuff, that's where you need to talk more spiritual to them, so that they can begin to understand and form an understanding that, oh, I switch bodies all the time. So I feel stuck, like I need to be this other one, but I'm coming in so I can see what it's like to be this one. So maybe I am a boy all the time. Maybe I'm a boy 75% of the time. And every time I come in to be a girl, it feels like, this feels weird. But you got to learn both sides. How can you have understanding for one side if you're always playing the other side? So you have to go in and play both sides. And so it's to create the balance. And so when your kid is having that, you're putting them completely out of balance and you're playing along. And then if you're playing along on that agenda, it's because you have a spiritual loss. You have no connection. There's something that's missing in you, because if you had a spiritual connection, like some of these people who are even like religious and stuff, if you had a spiritual connection, you would know God doesn't make mistakes. And there is no God up there that's making these decisions. It's you. And now you're doubting yourself, or you're not feeling right with yourself. You've got, that is a part of your lesson plan. That's a part of you becoming comfortable in your own skin. So any of the things where you find yourself being uncomfortable like that, that's a part of your challenge. That's a part of your growth. That's a part of what you're supposed to be doing and working on. Not trying to take their easy way out. Oh, you mean I won't feel like this if I go in and I get this surgery done? Which is a complete farce. It is lies. It's misleading. And then telling little kids that, and then they have to wait and find out the hard way. You know, that whole thing, you know, there's so much to that whole thing, and the whole reason behind doing it and stuff. And it's just, you know, that there will be doctors too that are gonna, I 100% agree with that there will be doctors that are gonna go down for this is gonna end up being crimes. And and I'm not sure, because there's so many people who put out like fake news stuff, and this could be one of them, because there was a news thing after news thing that was showing Hannah get arrested yesterday. The nurse Hannah getting arrested yesterday after this whole thing, and there was these videos and stuff, and then there was somebody later in the day saying that they've been looking it up. They can't find anything about her being arrested, that's misinformation. So like some of these news things and stuff can be totally made up too. But let me think what it was I was going to say now. And I go over and start seeing Nurse Anna. I gotta get back to seeing what it was I was seeing. Was it something about sickness, something about food? Oh yeah, it was RFK Jr. And so whatever he has done to because he's going at this stuff through courts and stuff. So it's something, it talks about a bunch of things that we can't talk about, and companies and stuff that you know, the ones that he's fighting, and they are, it had something shifted where they have to be held responsible for something, where somebody was saying that, thank you to him, because now he has gotten it to open up to the Nuremberg Code, and so it's linked it or something. And so, as I said, all these things are going to keep happening and playing out, and the puzzle pieces are going to keep going together, and everything's going to keep being exposed. And there probably will be a scary part. It seems like there's a buildup coming to the scary part for people who have this, to feel like that they're kind of stuck. I think there's going to be some kind of an antidote. There's going to be something, but I think that they're going to go through that kind of jolt. So everyone went again. What are those little things? Are they? Because they look like bigger, but it's like you can't see them. I don't know. That's weird. I don't know where they come from. I don't know where they are. I don't know. That's weird. And I cleaned this off before I started, but it keeps seeming like it's getting like foggy or something. I'm going to do it again. Hold on. Let's see if it gets more cleaner. I already did it. Well, I don't know. There's weird energy around, that's for sure. That's for sure. So, so anyways, all the things are going to start linking up together, and the pieces, it's like all these pieces are coming out. But I think there's going to be some parts that are going to be, you know, like that jolt, because those jolts are going to be the things that these people need to heal. So whoever goes through those kinds of things, it's because they need to heal that. There's something in their soul. And and one thing too is, like, we gotta not get into this thing of feeling sorry for everybody, like that this is all this stuff happening to them. No, all the people, everybody chose the way this was going to go down for themselves, and they choose it not to hurt themselves, but it links into whatever they've got to heal. That whatever this is going to bring up, it's going to make this easier to heal, and so it all goes together. And some of the things are going to, you know, some of the people are getting the other side. Like, these could have been people who were handing out serious things to people, They've caused a lot of problems, and then they're going to see like what it feels like to have something done to you like that. So some of it is, everybody's playing these different sides of things. And so to me, it's just like we can't get too caught up, and it's so easy. It's so easy to want to get caught up in anybody's storyline and what's going on and stuff. But we have to keep on remembering these are just different storylines that these souls have all created for themselves, even though most of them don't remember. And it seems like the ones that are having the hardest times, that they don't think so. Like, man, like, even to me, when I'm sitting here, like some of the days, it's like, oh my fucking God, why? What am I supposed to be learning from this? Like, it's just like, I don't know. To me, the things on mine, that there's like a tediousness, but there is, you learn, you do learn things. You learn patience. You learn controlling your emotions. There's a lot of things. Even though if it's not some big, magical thing, there's lots of lessons that you're learning all the time, through all the different challenges. And there's just so many times where it just seems like, this is, but there is benefits coming. Through the things, there's a reason. There's a reason that we have put ourselves through this. And, we just have to trust your soul, I guess. And one thing, so this was something that I wanted to talk about too, was, so this remote viewer girl talking about the cloning situation. And so a lot of stuff she was saying, it was the same stuff that I have said, but there was a couple other things that she had said that I hadn't thought about. And so she said that, so when they go in and take the DNA, so like Britney Spears, and they go in and they take hers, and it was all during this certain time when she was like this schoolgirl, like sexy schoolgirl, that era. And so go get all that. So then they take that to that cloning center guy, that one guy who was, said that he lived at that place. And he said that they grew her all the time and people would pay to come just to abuse her and stuff, which I just think is so horrible. But so this girl was saying that wherever their DNA, so the DNA that comes from, that's where that clone would be born to that age. And then when they are created or born, that they only have a few years. And she said that before they used to have like 3 to 5 years, and then they would break down. And she was saying that was part of the Michael Jackson thing, like why his face started looking weird, I guess. I don't know, because they start falling apart. So the clones don't have a long shelf life. It has something to do with the cells and stuff, because the science is not the same as natural. And so they're always messing around where they shouldn't be messing around. So anyways, so the cells can't rejuvenate themselves or something. So they all start breaking down. They've extended the life now to like supposedly 10 or 15 years. So some of the clones can keep going for 10 or 15 years. And so when the clone comes out, though, it's like an empty shell because it has no soul. Because you have to have a soul. Like, we're birthed in to these bodies. But so when they're just making these bodies, they don't have any soul to them. And some of the DNA has its own memories, just like how we have our own fears and stuff like that. So it can carry some of that, but it's all coming from this one cell. So it seems like it's like a little more diluted or something. So it's not so much of you as you are. And so it has a diluted kind of body memory kind of thing, but it still is empty of the soul. And so in that movie, remember I said in that movie that the guy was saying to the, which this was the Jeff Fahey movie, and where he was the scientist, and then he was told that he was the clone of the scientist, and he had to find his original so that he could heal or something. There was a whole thing. And then when they had captured him, and the guy was going to take his body, his clone body, he was going to kick him out of it and take it, which the guy wouldn't be in it. He would have had to have his soul put into it. And so what this rich guy was saying, because they do it all the time, these rich people, that they just switch bodies. And that is what I think is a part of this weird thing going on with some of these celebrities all of a sudden switching into these whole new bodies. They're obviously like in their 20s or something. And and they look like bold glamour, like they look like a clone. And so that they take these clones and then they yeah, so they can take some different people's DNA and mix them too. And they think they're real cool because they're making these other people out of these DNAs, like they're mixing them. But anyways, so the being, or so in the movie, the guy said that he was also going to get the girl, and then they were going to clone her, and then because she looked good, that they would take her and sell her to other people in other countries. And so they have been using these clones and to sell. They're like shells. They're like vehicles. So they're selling them, but then they've got to get the consciousness and put into it. And so they've been doing it a long while, I'm telling you. And so they have to get their consciousness taken out of one body and put into a different one. And that is where they keep body jumping and keep going. And so the thing is too is so she was saying that they have like because they have to have the the battery pack, the soul has to be in there to keep the body going. And so they have boxes of consciousness. So they have like little black boxes, like I've said. Like, what did I say? I said we're going to have kind of a thing where we're going and opening boxes and letting souls free. And so they've got them contained, which, what did I say was that whole thing with the MAID is it is not a fucking suicide machine. It is a soul-sucking machine. And they are sucking the souls out of people and then telling their loved ones, well, they died. That's what they wanted. And it's like, they're not fucking killing these people. They're not letting their souls free. They're stealing their souls. And it's kind of sad because these people who don't like their own lives, and then they're going into these ones that someone else has taken over. And I don't even know what the fucking black box would be like if you're stuck in the black box. That would be kind of like hell. You'd just be in there like, where am I? How do I get out of here? Like, fuck, man. And I don't know how they hold them, but they showed us that they can do that in Ghostbusters, man. That they've got the abilities to hold spirits in boxes. And there's a whole thing with, back in the day, like if you go to a garage sale, you're not supposed to get some box and start opening it if it's all sealed. Because that's what they would do, is that they would get souls to go in there and then they would seal them in. And they were usually dark energy. And so they've had this ability before, and then whatever these scientists, so they've got it. So they've got all these little black boxes with these souls, and then they will put them, so they'll take the soul and put it into the new body. And so then the soul will be trained to be this person. And so if they are a replacement for an elite person or whatever, they have to get trained to be this person. And so when she said that they'll do like MK Ultra and stuff like that, but and sometimes that I guess that they will have, that person will disappear for a while because they're clones being trained to be like them. That is kind of like in Stepford Wives too, in that movie Stepford Wives, which is this same kind of concept. Watch the old one though, not the fucking Nicole Kidman. So anyways, so then they take the soul out of the black box, put it into this being, and then they take it through this whole programming thing and program it to be this person. And then some of these ones, I think that they are this person, and then they start having these certain behaviors or whatever. I don't know, it's weird because, like, yeah, you could take somebody and keep telling them, "You're this person, you're this person, you're this person." I mean, you could even tell them, like, you were in a coma, you forgot who you were, like, who knows, like, what all things that they do to tell them, and then they get them to be like this other person, but that's why I said there has to be a soul, there has to be a battery pack. Nothing can go without a battery pack. You have to have something to battery it, to give it life. And so that, yeah, but that's what they do. So they're stealing consciousness. And I've been saying that. I've been saying that for a while. But this girl could see that too. She could see that they have all these consciousnesses that they keep, and then they do these things with these clones, and they put these in there and make their own little robot people. And that's, one of the things, the scary part of the entertainment industry. That's, there's a lot of scary shit about that because they're taking these people's DNA. They're probably making clones of them without the people even knowing. And I think some of them, they put them into lives where these people think that they are this person. They have no idea. And because there's been some, like, when you're watching a movie and you'll see this actor. I've seen so many that look like somebody else, or that they look like a combination of two different ones. And and it would make sense that this, would be birthed in one of these places, and it would be installed into a social climbing family, and it would be told that it had a life, it had a past, it had, it has some kind of thing, and it would have no idea. I mean, especially you start pulling out pictures and stuff and telling it had a past, and then you give it roles in movies and put it out there, and it would have no idea that came from a lab. How would it know? And so, and then they could just disappear. Like the whole thing too. I think there's a lot of illusion and stuff in Hollywood. Like a lot like that. Like if they really are making people and then letting them be in movies for a couple years and they just disappear and they're gone because they were just like a clone or something and they didn't have a long sustainable life. And then I don't know, there's a lot of weird shit, man. And maybe, I don't know, you could do a lot of maybes because there could be, an aging actor who gets paid for letting their DNA be used or something. I don't know. And then that gives them, uh, who knows? Like everything is so dark and shady on the whole thing. But those people definitely, like that Shania Twain, like what woman who has reached this point, like the women, girls who don't have any self-respect, they would be out there showing their bodies and all that stuff, trying to get some attention, trying to get somebody to like them, and because they don't have any idea. And so they're out there doing that. But then once you become an adult woman, I mean, and plus she's been married and divorced. They even had a weird switch out. Like her and her husband were best friends with this other couple. And then they switched. Like the husband left Shania for this other lady. And then so Shania got together with this lady's husband. Like it was a whole weird thing. And so that was years ago. So she's been through some stuff. Like I think they're always trying to make it seem like, oh, see, they have such a good body, they just want to show it off. No. Well, no lady with self-respect is just going to go out and go prance around in something that looks like underwear when makes that much money. Like, what would be the point of it? And I mean, I can't imagine. I mean, if she's that fragile of an ego that she needs people to come up to her and say, oh, yeah, you look so good. Your body looks so good. Then, she would have serious issues. I mean, how much had she grown as a person going through things? Because that's what things happen. They help you go through them so you do grow. But, I guess people can sink into these personality disorders and stuff like that. And, she could be that weak of she needs to go out and a fragile ego and she needs people to tell her how good she looks. It just doesn't add up to me. It just is way too much of this, way too fetishy. And what they did with Adele, I don't even think the original Adele is here anymore. This lady who is out there playing Adele, she may think that she's the original, and who knows, like some of them, they could be switched out during the night, you know? Like if they only last a certain amount of time, that could be another thing too, why they don't seem like that they age. Well, no, because that girl said that they age way faster. They age way faster, but maybe that's why they have to, the juice, the substance. So to try and slow it down, I don't know. There's so much corruption. There's so much, like, I don't know what you could call it, evil. There's the evil side world that goes on. But man, that is so weird when you think about some of these actors and stuff, and how many of them are even the originals even here. How many of them have all been, you know, taken by these people, and then they put their this other trained person out who thinks that they're them. It's so weird. It's very creepy. But that is why, you know, this whole world is just full of illusion. It's all so fucking fake. You just can't get too caught up in all this stuff. But right now, though, everything is to just keep showing us stuff. Like, it is so outrageous. It's so ridiculous. The stuff that just keeps going. The that CEO thing that has got so many people, and that it was such a big spectacle because I guess it's, of course, it's all on tape, and the guy goes up, you know, and then he does one of these, and I don't know if he makes contact with the first one, but then he tries to do another one or something, and it jams, and so then he puts out another one of those things, and they all have words written on them, of course. Like, and then you have the cops talking about how he's so skilled. And then he takes off on the city. But oh my God, the whole thing is so ridiculous. And then the pictures that they have him, yeah, he looks very generic, but he also looks very young. And he looks very like clean cut kind of guy. And it could be, you know, I mean, the storyline that could be that's going to play out, it could very well be like, you know, you killed my wife while she was pregnant because you wouldn't give her the treatment that she needed, because that is a big thing of that's going to be coming out. That's a big part of this whole thing, is like the control that they've had over us. There's so much stuff coming out with the insurance and stuff. It's all falling apart. And you know, we have to, you know, we have to keep paying this stupid shit. We got to keep paying the stupid insurance. Like if it wasn't on my mom's thing, I don't think I would. But I'm kind of like through somebody else. See, that's dependency always gets you to have to do something that you wouldn't really. Would I really do that? I don't think I would really be paying it. I would probably be fighting a lot more, but see, the loan isn't her thing. And then right as soon as I'd stopped paying before, because I already tried that once, and then they started saying, well, that they were going to make me pay the bank. So it's shenanigans. It's all fucking corrupt, and it's all fucking connected. And they've got the upper hand over us. They've got the control. But it's the control that we've taken a knee to. It's more than when we all stand up and say, you know, I'm not taking a knee anymore to this bullshit. That's when it stops. But look at how bad it has to get. All this corruption has to keep being unfolding and unfolding, and it's going to get bad because that's how bad it got. And we're going to have to see. And yeah, they were letting people die. They've been killing people, like with their medications, and everything has been is a disaster. And when people wake up and realize, and that one thing is like where the anger is going to end up going is to the self. Of like, just, I wish I wouldn't have listened. I wish I would have thought of it. I wish I would have looked into more. I wish, you know, I wish that I could change something. But a lot of the anger is going to end up going on the person, because they're going to be mad at themselves that they bought into the game, that they didn't think outside the box, that they didn't think it through, that they just did what, you know, seemed like the easy way. That is what it's going to feel like to a lot of people when this starts going. It was like, I chose the easy way. I chose the easy way. The easy way is always the shortcut, and the shortcut doesn't always work. The shortcuts blow up in our face a lot of times because it's the steps. It's the development. It's the steps that we need to take. And there is no shortcut. There is no quick fix. There is no easy out. There is the challenges and to go through them and grow through them. And when we choose the easy out, but it's not like people were choosing. There was a lot of like that was the only choice. There's been, a few of these what do I want to call them? Not explorers, but the ones taking the first steps. So they are like the explorers going into new territory that we haven't gone into. But there was a lot, and they would be forced. A lot of them were forced by that. There was nobody, there was nothing else to do. There was no doctors, there was nothing. They told them, you got weeks to live, there's nothing we can do for you, go home and die. And some people didn't go home and died. And then some people were like, wait a minute, I've got a plan. And started, just kicking ass on taking care of themselves. Now, I think the first ones that I started hearing that were curing themselves, it was like smoothies, green, a little lot of green in there and stuff. And so once there start being people who are curing themselves, then that ripples out, and there starts being more and more and more, and more people figuring out how, and more things coming. But at this time, though, is the main thing to have to see is the incredible amount of toxins that we are flooded with, and mold and fungi, apparently, and the weakness of our own systems. It's depleted, and most people have an overreaction of some type of autoimmune or some kind of attack on their systems in somewhere. And so so those are the things that kind of hold us back, that we have to fight against. But there's a reason for it. There's a lot that's going to be learned and grow from all of this stuff that's going on. It's hard to go through. But definitely there's going to be a lot of other people, because even when my brother got his and I was saying do natural, and he was like, no way, I'm doing what they tell me, and he went with what they told him. It worked for him. So he's doing good, and they said that he's clear, but hopefully he's, really taking care of himself and keeping clear, because when your body grows certain things, it will keep coming. And so you have to be aware of like what it is that you're growing and start fighting against it. If it's, which I don't know, we've all got to figure out how to fight the fungi and mold growing inside of us, apparently. And I don't even know. I mean, that's maybe the horse pace, but there's maybe more. And there's probably more people figuring out more stuff, because there's always people figuring out more things about it. And usually it comes from necessity, and that is part of the universe. That's part of like, the angles that appear, is the things, the directions that we can go. And they happen naturally for people, because, somebody gets to the point of like, they tell them you're going to go on hospice, and the people are like, no, I am not going to die from this. It's not going to take me out. I've seen a lot of these like young moms who said, no, I've got to save myself for my kids. And it's a changing the mindset too. It's like, I'm going to survive this. I'm going to win. I'm going to win. Instead of being like, the sickness is going to beat me down. The sickness is going to take me down, because it has a lot to do with how we look at it, our mind. So a lot of times it's the people having to go back. And one thing is about the sicknesses is people get worn down. They get tired. They get worn out. They get so tired of being sick that they just give up. It's like it's too hard. It's too hard to be sick all the time. And so it's sad, but it's a part of the whole thing, and I've definitely have felt that before, of like, fuck, this is too much, being sick all the time. It's way too much. And so, but that is a part of the different souls' journeys and stuff. But some of them is just like, they're just beat down by the sickness, and that's why they just keep keeping us sick and sick, because they are trying to, get us all to opt out, because we don't have to. They are creating this. And so it's like, when we all of a sudden start realizing what we're working up against, then that's going to start changing a lot too, because then people are going to take it a lot more serious about their health and taking care of themselves and stuff. There still isn't even complete receptiveness to RFK, even though he's doing really good work, and he's going to be making big changes in, what the poisoning of the people. So that is going to be, he's doing good stuff, but there's still a lot of people who there's a lot of people are just so, like, they don't realize the good stuff, like any of the good stuff. Everything that Donald says, they think, oh, this is bad, this is bad. It's like, well, somebody told you this is bad, because if you knew what he was really doing, if you really listened to him, then you would know, like, this is good. He's getting rid of all the things that are fucking us over. And it's weird because they tell these people that he's such an idiot, he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's destroying it, he's doing all this stuff. I don't know, somehow he's taking all the women's rights away from him by doing everything he does. So the whole thing is just, it's absurd, but it's like you have to see it for yourself. Otherwise, you're just a part of the product. You're just a part of the game. You're just a part of the influence of what's happening until you stop. And everything has to do with questioning things. It has to do with looking outside the box. It has to do with seeing what they're not telling you. And you know, and I don't know, like, there's just people who are trapped in the narrative. They're trapped on the script. And but the universe isn't going to leave them trapped. And that's something that we don't have to worry about. The universe is going to come in with a hard yank, a hard slap. Something big is definitely coming. And so, yeah, back onto the disaster zone. So over here in the disaster zone, so I don't know if they start going on the Cascadia, and that's this mountain range that goes up in here. If that starts breaking apart and these big trees start falling, that's going to be pretty horrible. So, and they was supposedly, there was one girl who was out in the forest when it started going down, and she said it was like so shaking so hard. She'd never been in anything like it. And I saw another guy who was filming at his house, and I don't know where his was, but his pool was going, and he was getting film of his pool going. But he said it's so weird because I don't feel anything. The ground feels normal to me. And when I've been in an earthquake, it feels like a fun house. It feels like you're trying to take a step, and the ground and stuff is just, it's weird. And mine wasn't even a 7. I think the highest one I was in was a 6. And I think it was the Whittier one or something. Well, I don't remember. It was a long while ago. But anyways, the definitely though, you can't walk, like, it's weird. It's like being in a fun house. And he was not having any problems with that. So I don't know, that's another weird thing. But there's so many weird things. There's so many weird things. There's just our whole reality is just, it's just like, there's this girl, she just did a story of the person was asking, you know, what's your story that made you believe in God or angels or whatever. And so she had one that she went to a bathroom and at a rest stop, and she was the only person in there until all of a sudden there was someone in there. They didn't come in the door or anything. And when she came out, she started talking to her, and she said the woman was so beautiful, so extremely beautiful, and she was older. And she had the most piercing green eyes. And she was asking her where she was going and stuff. And she told her she was on a trip going to see her parents for Christmas or whatever. And this lady said she's going to go see her grandbabies or whatever. And so the lady started putting all this pressure on her, telling her, if your car starts making any noise, you pull over immediately. And the girl was like, okay, okay. And she kept telling her, no, I'm serious. No matter what, if you hear any kind of noise, your car makes any kind of noise, pull over immediately. And so the girl was like, okay, okay. And so she goes out of the bathroom, and the lady never comes out of the bathroom. The lady just disappeared. And so she's like totally tripping out. So she goes and she's driving, and she's like 3 hours in, and she hears this tiny little ting. And so she's like, oh, I better pull over. So she pulls over and goes over into a gas station. As soon as she gets in the gas station parking lot, everything fell apart on her car. And what she had been driving on no timing belt, the timing belt had broke the whole motor thing. Like, it all had broken. And so she would have probably gotten into a big crash if she would have kept going. So anyways, she was like, that's where she all of a sudden realized that there's angels and stuff. But that's what I'm saying. They come into your life all the time. You have energies around you protecting you all the time. And it's part of the illusion where you get caught up thinking that these things can happen to you. Nothing can happen to you unless it's meant to happen to you. And when something does happen to you, all of the ones that are around you protecting you are right there for you. And you come right out. You don't go through this long drug out experience of all this horribleness. And I was thinking so much, like, because going outside right now is so fucking cold and it's miserable to me. And I feel so much every winter, like this just really pulls on my heartstrings for the people who are out there trying to survive in the cold, in tents and stuff. And some women too, some homeless women said it's not even safe to be in a tent. It's too dangerous to be in a tent. You have to stay out. And then in North Carolina, there keeps being people who are being found frozen to death, not frozen to death, but died from the cold. One thing, though, that is good about the cold, dying from it, is it's real peaceful. It's real easy death. Like you just go to sleep and then you're just out. And so, you know, that's one thing. I was like, man, I wonder if it's just like a lot of souls that never experienced that death, or if that's just an easy one. And so we're going to have a whole lot of souls that leave with that death. Like, I don't know. But anyways, nothing can happen to you that's not meant to happen to you. I totally feel so much compassion for all these people who are out there so cold right now, because I can't stand the cold. Like, I go out, I've got 3 pairs of pants on, 3 shirts at least, a hat. I'm like, I am. And it's so funny too, because the lady across the street, which every year she gives me a Christmas present, and this year she gave me some Godiva chocolate, one of those calendar things. So every day I get a piece of chocolate. It's so good. But I didn't get any. I'm just, I don't even, I really just, I'm so over the fucking, these prescribed holidays they created for us. But I feel kind of bad. But anyway, she said that she was going to be leaving. And I was like, oh, I should have probably got something, because I knew she was going to give me something. She's given me something every year since I've been here. And so anyways, but she's from Alaska and she's going to Alaska. I thought that she was already leaving, because she said she was going the first week. So she got to be leaving. But anyways, the other day she's standing out there in shorts. She's standing out there in shorts talking to her husband while he's working on the car or something. And I got like this whole thing on. I was like, but I grew up in the South and she grew up in Alaska. And so when it gets cold to me, it's like, fuck, this is cold. And to bother her. So anyways, the cold is an issue. The earthquakes are an issue. The tsunamis are an issue. We got everything going over here. And I'm sure there's more stuff going in all the different places. So we have all those different things happening. And she's on the move. She's been on the move all fucking night. Come here, honey, for a second. She's very limpy. Come here, baby girl. She's going to go ring the bells. Shows she's having an attitude. I fucking took the bells and because she tears them up so bad, and I took wire and tied them to a chain. She's still knocking them off. Like I don't know how she does it. She's a little badass who she is. Come here, honey. I'm gonna see if I can get at her face. Come here, my girl. Come here, my precious. Come here, precious girl. She's not one that likes the camera. Come here, baby girl. Oh, there she is. That's it. That's it right there. And it's looking way better. That's just my baby girl. So, she's such a sweetheart. I love this girl. So anyways, let me think. Let me think for a second. What else was there that I was going to talk about? I don't know. Just anything can happen, and it can go at any time. And what we got to just keep on remembering what we're doing here is that we're supposed to be working on ourselves, and we're supposed to be learning how to love ourselves, love everyone, and how to have a loving day, because it's totally up to us. So anyways, that's what we're going to be working on again today. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.